This is the Great North Wrestling Podcast, the official podcast of the Hannibal TV, Canada's #1 pro wrestling YouTube channel, with your host, 3-time Canadian champion and GNW lead reporter, Devin Hannibal Nicholson.
This is Hannibal from the HannibalTV.com, and this is a very special Great North Wrestling podcast today because we are running down the entire Great North Wrestling event card that is taking place next Saturday, February 2nd at Le Sommet High School in Hawkesbury, Ontario. For all you French people out there, it's actually called École, Secondaire, Publique, Le Sommet. And on the line to go over the card with me, I have two-time and longest reigning Canadian champion Jeremy Prophet, who earned a shot at the World Television Championship against current champion Nathan Banner, who defeated Wes Briscoe last year for the title. He's been defending it successfully in the States, but this coming Saturday, February 2nd, it's going to be his first actual title defense of the World TV title in Great North Wrestling. So are you ready for this match?
I'm absolutely ready. I was born ready. And to be quite honest with you, I mean, I've had a lot of epic matches here in Great North Wrestling, and I'd like to say this one will be right up there with them. I mean, obviously, I'm looking forward to becoming the television champion, finally bringing the belt back to Canada, because it's ridiculous that a Canadian has yet to hold it. So I'm definitely going to change that. But why I can't be too excited about it is because, quite frankly, Nathan Banner, I mean, this guy, I've been carrying him show after show, and we all know, the fans all know, you know, he's not in my league. You know, this is a guy who had to use a 90-pound girl just to be able to beat Wes Briscoe. And so this guy's 300 pounds. He has to use a girl to gain an advantage. I don't think I'm going to have too hard of a time dealing with him. Not to mention, I know what he's all about. I know what he can do in the ring. I've been right there for most of his matches. I've been keeping him relevant, and I'm sick and tired of doing charity. So the only question is, do I go in there, end it early, and make it merciful so everyone can just forget this guy ever existed? Or do I maybe drag it out and expose the many weaknesses that he has that I've been covering up time and time again? That's really all there is to it.
That's true. He will have Valentin on the outside, and if people remember, and if they forget, they can watch the full event video of Great North Wrestling Super Fight Sunday, which was our last event, and watch all the matches that is posted free now on the Hannibal TV. But she was managing Wes Briscoe throughout his entire World Television Championship reign, which was quite significantly long. And she actually turned her back on Briscoe, which allowed Banner to win that World TV title. So are you at all afraid of having eyes at the back of your head with this woman running around, or do you have a plan to deal with her?
Yeah, you know, I always have a plan. I mean, I'm a strategist when I get into that ring, and it's not the first time I deal with her. If fans want to go and check it out, when Wes Briscoe actually won the television championship, she also stuck her nose in my business. So it's almost like I have the rivalry more with Valentin than I do with Nathan Banner, because she just always finds a way to weasel her little bimbo self into my business. And so, you know, I have a long history with women who don't really know their place. You know, I'm talking about like the Dominoes of this world, if you want to go back a couple of years, and so on and so forth. She's just another in a long line of women that have no business being in this sport. Okay, it's one thing if you're going to get in the ring, if you're going to fight, if you're going to be an athlete, but to just stand around and be a piece of arm candy for someone who's clearly eaten too much candy in their life, that's Nathan Banner. Tell you what, you're not really going to be impressing me or anybody else around here. So yeah, I have a plan. I know how to deal with her. I definitely know how to deal with him. And I'm looking forward to it. And I think the fans should be looking forward to it too, because it's going to be a hell of a reckoning, and it's been a long time coming for Nathan Banner.
So there's 3 title matches on this card. Of course, is your World Television Championship match. There is also Lady Yasmine against a former Quebec champion who you're very familiar with, Jessika, for some bloody reason, her last name is slipping my head right now because there's so many Jessika wrestlers, but
It's Jessika Black.
Jessika Black, yes.
And there's so many wrestlers with Black in their name too. So
yeah, and there's so many wrestlers named Jessika in real life, so it's a little confusing. But her name is spelt with a K, and she fought Vanessa Craven in the past in Great North Wrestling. Had a great showing. I believe she won that match by disqualification, and she also had a victory over Stacy Tebow. So she has a pretty good record in Great North Wrestling, and Lady Yasmine has held this Women's Championship of Canada for almost 2 years now. So this is going to be an interesting match. This is definitely going to be Yasmine's toughest opponent yet, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the one important thing is that she's actually going to be one of Yasmine's opponents that actually shows up, unlike the last 2 or 3 or
yeah,
deserve me mentioning on here. But she's going to show up. She's been training hard for this fight, and unlike Valentine, like we talked about, here we're talking about 2 women who are at least athletes, who are fighters, who get in the ring and mix it up in there for the fans. So it's not as though these are 2 people that don't belong. But the fact is, if you ask me for my professional opinion, yeah, it is going to be Yasmine's toughest challenge. They train together. Maybe not a lot of people know that, but Jessika actually helped train Yasmine. If you even go back and look at the video, I think it's still on Hannibal TV. You can see Yasmine's debut, and Jessika was in her corner for that match, and actually, played into the decision of that match, helping her. If I'm not mistaken, I think she scored a count-out victory over Vanessa Craven in that one. So there's a rich history between these two. Yeah. So I mean, it's an ongoing story, and much like myself and Nathan Banner, there's a history here of 2 people that know each other fairly well. So whenever you get that kind of a situation, you got to wonder which one is going to come out on top. Which one has maybe taught the one everything she knows, but not everything that she herself knows, if you know what I mean. So it's an interesting one. I'm going to be there to see it. Really just want to see the best possible performance out of the 2 of them, because I think Yasmine hasn't really been tested. And Jessika, let's face it, she's coming off of a bit of a layoff. She's had a couple of matches here. She had sustained an injury. She's coming back with a vengeance. So I think the 2 of them will probably bring the best out of each other. And I am anxious to see which one will leave as GNW Women's Champion.
And that's interesting that you bring that up, that she was in Yasmine's corner for Yasmine's very first match, which was in Great North Wrestling. So maybe that's part of the reason why I believe she is the most popular wrestler in Great North Wrestling right now, because her career really started in Great North Wrestling. Her very first match was with this company, and she's had a lot of success, and the fans have really been able to follow her progress. She's improved every match she's had, and this will be a tough one. This is a tough one to predict. I hope Yasmine wins this one personally. And I forgot to give my prediction for your match. He outweighs you. He's 6'6" or so. He's a lot taller than you. You're more technical, and I think you have more fire in you. So I would say you have more fighting spirit, so I'll give that one to you.
Well, I'm not going to get too defensive about those comments, but I mean, when it comes down to it, yeah, he's taller than me. I've fought a lot of people taller than me. And to say he weighs more than me, okay, he weighs more than me. I don't know if he weighs more than me minus the fat, but I don't think that's really going to factor too much into the decision. Let's face it, there's a lot more that goes into wrestling than just body mass. I know for a fact that if I want to take this match in the direction I want to take it in, he's going to have no choice but to follow. Let's face it, if I want to take him down, I can take him down. He's not stable on his feet. If I want to just, put him on the ground, slap him around like a little child, I can do that if I want to, because quite frankly, he doesn't have the cardiovascular conditioning, and, he has quite a lack of speed that I could run circles around this guy. So the match is going to go the way I want it to go. And that's what people are going to see. I'm not sweating this guy one bit. And again, I'm here to be an unbiased journalist. I'm here to give the fans a little bit of insight into the matches we have coming up on the show. I don't want to make this just about me over and over. But, Nathan Banner, I don't care how big he is or how good he thinks he is. The real litmus test of his ability is going to be when he's in with the 2-time Canadian champion, Jeremy Prophet.
And then, of course, there is the Canadian Championship match. Maximum Testosterone won the Battle Royal for the Canadian Championship at the last event in Hawkesbury, and he's been defending that title all over Quebec successfully in recent months. So this is going to be his first Canadian title defense in Great North Wrestling, and it's a fans bring the weapon match against the Bruiser, who just put out a video bench pressing 225 for 24 reps or something, and he's in his 50s now, but he has a pretty good win-loss record, and this is his first title shot in many years for a major title, and it's a fans bring the weapons street fight, so it could be an interesting match.
Oh, it's one of the most deadliest matches in all of wrestling. Fans bring the weapons. Who knows what fans are going to bring? I mean, I encourage fans who are hearing this right now to go out there, bring the craziest weapons you can, because these are two guys that are going to want to use them and are going to want to use them to hurt each other. You know what I love about this match? And some people might look at this match and dismiss it. What I really like about this is that when you look at these two guys, you don't see guys that look like this throughout the independent scene in wrestling. These are two men. These are two rugged individuals. You can see Bruiser, despite being, on the better side of 50, he's putting in the effort in the gym. Max Testosterone, he's a big man. He's put in his time. And I've been in the ring with Max. I have not really been in the ring with Bruiser, but I've been in there with Max, and he's one of the strongest guys that I've ever been in a match with. So he's no slouch. But Bruiser, the record speaks for itself. I mean, I can't think of many Great North Wrestling events where I've seen Bruiser on the losing end of any kind of match. Aside from his encounter with the scaffolding, I think he's managed to find himself on the winning side of most of the equations that he's been a part of. So with that said, it's another one I'm going to sit back and enjoy. If I had to go with a winner, I think that youth will prevail over experience. So I'm going to have to go with Max on that one.
Well, don't forget, there is that pretty boy Gary. Now, I really have no idea what the relationship is between the Bruiser and this pretty boy Gary, but he has played a factor in some of the Bruiser's most recent victories. And you mentioned the scaffolding jump that Bruiser's done, and he's done some other really crazy jumps in his career. And this is a no disqualification, fans bring the weapons street fight. So I'm curious to see what the Bruiser has up his sleeve for this match. If he can come up with the right game plan, I believe he could win. I'm not going to give an opinion on this. Well, maybe I will. I would say Max is a huge guy. He can pull airplanes. He's going to be very hard to beat. The edge goes to Max, but it really depends what the fans bring as weapons and who gets their hands on the weapons first. If there's a major weapon and Bruiser gets it first, then this could be over real fast.
You see, you bring up a very good point that I probably didn't even consider here, which is the fact that this is no disqualifications, fans bring the weapons, and he does have Gary in his corner. So more or less, Max is going to be walking into a 2-on-1 handicap match, maybe from the onset. So again, I don't know if he's as much of a strategist as myself, that he can plan for these kinds of things and, make sure that he gets the best outcome. But going into it, it's not going to be a one-on-one contest. I certainly don't think so. Also, another thing I didn't realize is, Max, although he is coming off of one of his biggest victories of his career to become Great North Wrestling Canadian champion, let's not forget, he was also on the receiving end of a brutal knockout that same night. So, I got to question how durable his chin is going to be, especially if he's going to be on the receiving end of various weapons that our fans will bring into that event.
And speaking of knockouts, the main event for this show is really going to be my kickboxing match against the Black Dragon. He's similar height to Banner, 6'6", more muscular than Banner, though, and he's 295 pounds. Former world champion in grappling. He's been to the Abu Dhabis. He's been training in kickboxing longer than me. He's more flexible than me. But I really have been focusing on kickboxing this past year, and I have a lot of anger and aggression in me. And I believe that if he makes it past the first round, he's not going to make it past the second round. That's my prediction. I don't think he's going to be a pushover, but I'm going in there to destroy him. And I don't know if he's ever met anyone like me on the grappling mat or in kickboxing sparring. I really want to become a pro kickboxer, and he's just an obstacle in my way as far as I'm concerned.
I really look at this match and I find there's a lot of similarities, although it's a completely different realm to professional wrestling. There's a lot of similarities to the match that I'm having with Banner, where, yeah, he does have a bit of a size advantage, but, you know, not much can account for the sheer ferocity that you bring to the table as someone who's been on, you know, the opposite end of many a war with you. There really is an unspoken truth to the sheer brutality that you bring to matches. And I think it's no big secret. Anyone who's seen you in a ring of any kind can attest to that. I don't know if he's taking this as seriously as you are. I've seen some of the material that he's put out, some of the footage, and I think that he might be taking this a little lightly. And even if he weren't, I don't think he necessarily has that aggression to be able to go in there and defeat you. And I think that your pride, especially on an event like this, is not going to allow you to suffer any kind of a defeat. And I think he's going to have to kill you. As crude and as crass as that sounds, I think he's going to have to kill you if he wants to win, because you're serious about this. And when you put your mind to something, it's very hard to stop you. So.
Well, I did speak to the referee regarding rules over the weekend, and the referee did tell me that he's been informed by his coach that he has actually, for the past 7 weeks, been focusing on kickboxing and has been specifically practicing head kicks. So I don't think he's going to kick me in the head, but I'm glad that he's training hard and taking this match seriously. But as you said, he's coming to a Great North Wrestling event. He's come into my territory. I have to stand up for professional wrestling in this case and show him that we're not all CM Punks, and that some of us are actually tough and forces to be reckoned with.
Yep, absolutely. And I mean, I don't think the head kick, again, I'm no expert. I'm someone who's done a little bit of boxing in his life and not really ventured into competitive kickboxing to any extent like you have done. But I think that it's simple that if you were to close the distance on him, he can practice all the head kicks he wants. If you're in the pocket, it's going to be useless. So I think his strategy is a little snake bit right from the start. But I mean, we'll see. You know, I saw your training. I saw the Lethway champion there, Dave Leduc, I believe his name was. Is that the guy?
Yes, I recently did some training with him. Yes, but I've been training with Jean-Yves Thériault, 23-time world kickboxing champion. I've been training at Alain Moussi from the new Kickboxer movie, his school. Lots of sparring partners, lots of variety of training.
Yep. No, I've seen that, and I've definitely seen how passionate you are about this. And I just think that he might be taking this a little lightly, and he might be in for a rude awakening. I hope he's seen what you did to Max, so, you know, at the very least, he knows he's in there with somebody who could potentially cause serious bodily harm to him. Either way, I'm a fan of this match. I can't wait to see how it goes. I'd like to see an early decision, but hey, you know, if this manages to go into the deep water, then it can only be that much better. You know, you saw what you can do in one round. Maybe if it goes a little further, we might be able to see more of your skills showcased.
Yeah, it's not going to be to his advantage if it goes longer with the cardio training that I've been doing. I will say that now. But we won't talk about this match any longer because we could go on and on about it. I don't want to waste all the time talking about my match, although I suggest fans definitely, you don't want to miss that. And we forgot to plug this, but it will be written on the video that The Hannibal TV has all the information on this event. Advance ringside tickets are only $10. The prices go up $5 at the door. They are available at ticketweb.ca, or if you live in Hawkesbury, you can go to the office at Le Sommet High School to pick up tickets, or at Marché La Croix to pick up tickets, or get them at the door the night of the event. So again, thehannibaltv.com has all the information. And for the next couple of matches, I think, Jeremy, you might know these guys better than I do. Mathis Myers, who's one of Jacques Rougeau's students, he actually goes to this high school. He's going to be taking on Xavier Black, who is a Montreal wrestler. For the sake of this event, which is going on at his high school, I hope that he wins, or else he's going to look pretty bad to the students for the rest of the year. But I don't know much about either of these guys.
I mean, I wish I could give you more insight. I think I know Mathis. If I'm not mistaken, was he not on?
He was in the Battle Royal. Yeah,
Battle Royal. Yeah, I think we might have run into each other in the Battle Royal. Seems like a good kid. Always good to get the chance to perform in front of people in front of your hometown and whatnot. But maybe the pressure might be too much for him. You never know. I know that when I've had the chance to perform in front of local crowds and whatnot, it brings the best out of me. But not everyone's me. And I think that the best advice I could give to him, if he's listening to this, which he should be, since he's getting a great opportunity here in Great North Wrestling, is to go in and treat it like it's any other match and just, bring your A game.
And I think we're going to see a lot of high flying in this match. I at least hope so. And this is a match, the Green Phantom, you beat him the last Great North Wrestling event, and I know you guys have a long history together, is going to be taking on a guy who I met at the recent New Japan training camp, and I was impressed with him, Isaiah Bronson. He's put out a couple of videos on Facebook about his distaste for the Green Phantom. He's a large guy. He's fairly new to the wrestling business, but I've seen it firsthand that he can take a bit of a beating, and he does have heart. So this one should be interesting.
It's very interesting. I mean, Isaiah and I in other promotions have been more or less on the same side. And this rivalry with the Green Phantom, I've been a part of it as well. We saw some of that carry over onto the last GNW event. I don't like the Green Phantom. Never have, never will, never see eye to eye with him. And Isaiah, he's got a lot of potential. One thing I can tell you about these guys, and this is no joke. This is not me trying to sell the match to you, but this is 100% the truth. These two, they hate each other. They to me, it's mind-boggling. They would even, be in the same match. They cannot stand each other. Like I see it. We're on shows, and this is the God's honest truth I'm giving you people, and they will not exchange words. They will not look at each other. This is absolute, pure, unadulterated hatred between these two guys. And so you can bet that I'll be glued to the monitor backstage or at the curtain to see what goes on in there, because these two, I cannot even, I mean, Devin, I don't even know how to explain this. Like, we're talking like Jacques Rougeau, Dynamite Kid levels of hatred between these two. So
that would explain the promo videos that I saw. I didn't post them on Hannibal TV because he mixed in some movie clips to his promo, but they seem fairly personal.
And it absolutely is. I mean, I've been a part of it and I've seen it, and I know what they think of each other. And so fans are either going to be in for a treat, or this one might really get out of hand. This should almost be a lumberjack match just to make sure this stays in the ring and doesn't turn into another street fight or a fans bring the weapons match. It's something that I'm almost at a loss for words. But you know what? I'm glad that we're getting this, because it's about time this score gets settled. If I can just jump back into unbiased journalist here, I know that they both have reputations they need to uphold. Isaiah, young, up and coming, has a lot of upside to him. Has a lot of haters, has a lot of detractors, a lot of people talking a lot of smack about him. Green Phantom, he's older. He's, pushing 40, if not already there. A lot of people saying he doesn't have it anymore. So we might be seeing a changing of the guard here, or we might be seeing Phantom, defending himself and showing that the old dog still got a few tricks left in him. But either way, there's just so much intrigue to this match for me on a personal level that I'm anxious to see how it all plays out.
Well, Isaiah definitely has something to prove, because this is his chance to see if he could make it on the regular roster of Great North Wrestling. Of course, we have the most popular YouTube channel by far for wrestling and combat sports in Canada, and even in the US, we're climbing. We're not the top one there yet, but we have our fans. So it's great exposure to be part of Great North Wrestling events. And of course, this whole event is going to be recorded for the Hannibal TV. There may be another match or two surprises thrown in, but those are the main matches for the card that we've gone over. As I continue to move on into the fighting world, and of course, let's face it, I'm more popular as an interviewer than a wrestler, and that's my future domain as an interviewer. There'll be less and less Great North Wrestling events because I play a large role in putting these events on. So I would suggest to anyone that lives in the Hawkesbury area, it's only an hour drive from Montreal, hour drive from Ottawa, hour drive from Cornwall. Make the trip because there is not going to be that many Great North Wrestling events this year. It's only $10 if you buy tickets in advance, and you're going to get 6 or 7 matches of great action. You can meet the wrestlers. You can take pictures with the wrestlers. And again, online tickets at ticketweb.ca. Get them in person in Hawkesbury at Le Sommet High School office or Marché La Croix. This place holds about 400, so it's going to be a more intimate setting than the arenas that we usually go to, but it's winter and there's ice in the arenas. So we're doing this high school. The concession money is going to the prom committee. The 50-50 is going to the local hospital fund. So there's a lot of good causes involved in this event. And you're going to see a great fight in my match. That's one. I've been training. The reason why there hasn't been a lot of shoot interviews on this channel this month is because I've been focusing on my training. I've been taking it very seriously. And I have a huge opponent. Yes, I've been training hard, but let's face the facts. He's 6'6", almost 300 pounds. Anyone in the heavyweight division can get caught with something. So I'm going to try. I will never give up. That's for sure, as Jeremy said. Mm-hmm. But this is no easy battle if I'm caught with something, and I'm planning on going in there and destroying the guy. So I highly suggest that people come and see it live because we're not streaming this event. It will be posted on YouTube at a later date. And as I said before, check out the last live event video from Hawkesbury, Great North Wrestling Super Fight Sunday. You can see my last kickboxing match on that event. You can see Jeremy's win over the Green Phantom. Yasmine beating the hell out of some guy who was a replacement because her opponent didn't show up.
Yeah. I was entertained by that.
She is vicious. She might seem sweet, but she has a mean streak in her for sure. And to close this off, Jeremy, any closing remarks? But one thing before you close it off, I just want to remind everyone on Twitter, we are at GNW Wrestling. We have a Facebook page, Great North Wrestling, and of course, subscribe to the Hannibal TV on YouTube for all the latest updates. And the GNW podcast, the audio version, is also on iTunes. But definitely, if nothing else, subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is the #1 combat sports YouTube channel in Canada. So you have your platform here, Jeremy, for any last words about this event and your match against Nathan Banner.
It's pretty simple. Like I said, I'm going in to get the belt. Plain and simple. You said we're running out of GNW events. Who knows how much longer it's going to be around? So I need to get that belt. I need to put Canada on the map, take that title from Nathan Banner. First of all, I just hope he shows up. I didn't get to say this earlier, and maybe I was being a little bit too respectful to him, but the thought occurs to me, no one has no-showed more events than Nathan Banner. He shows up when he decides to. Sometimes he doesn't feel like it. Whatever the reason may be, I just hope that he shows up because he'll be skipping out on the biggest beating of his career if he decides to not be there. And, I think the authorities of the company should actually strip him of the title if he's not there. And not to say give it to me because I want to earn things. That's how I do business.
He had to put a deposit on the title when he got the title. So if he no-shows, he forfeits that deposit. So I have a feeling he will definitely show up due to that deposit on the title. But I know what you're talking about. He has done that. There's always been reasons given why. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that, but continue.
Well, it's about time someone calls him out on it because it's being unprofessional. I've never missed a show the entire time I've been there. I've worked hurt. There's really no such thing as injuries. An injury is you're in the hospital and you can't get out of your bed.
What about anxiety? What if you had an anxiety attack?
Like Lars Sullivan. You got an anxiety attack, you shouldn't be in the business. Plain and simple. There's no stage fright in wrestling. So just get him back on track. I mean, I don't know if it's just that this guy's gotten under my skin or what it is, but I'm going to do something that you've probably wanted me to do for a long time. And that's I'm going to abandon my aerial aesthetic style to go in there and just purely put a beating on this guy. Okay. I'm not about pleasing people, putting on a show. No, this is a fight. This is me going in there and this is me emasculating somebody and showing them that they have no business being in the ring with me. And when I am hungry for a championship, you know what that can bring out. So Nathan Banner, I don't know what he plans on bringing to the table. Plain and simple, it's not going to be enough. I'm going to make a statement. I'm going to defeat him. It's going to be me as champion and new. Next show, it'll be and still. I'll give him a rematch, beat him one more time. Really don't care. And forever. And that will be the exclamation point on the Jeremy Prophet story.
And just since you mentioned next event, to close this off, I'll remind all of our fans in Smith Falls, we didn't go there last year, but May the 4th, we are returning to Smith Falls, and Dan the Beast Severin is going to be in action, and he's also going to be doing a seminar before the event. So stay tuned to thehannibaltv.com for more information on that event. Tickets for that event are also already on sale at ticketweb.ca. Thank you, Jeremy Prophet, for joining us. We haven't seen eye to eye in the ring already, but I think it's fairly safe to say we're probably never going to wrestle again, as I don't even really have any plans on wrestling again. So who knows what the future holds, but I can at least be civil with you with no matches on the horizon.
Well, I appreciate that, and I'll be more than happy to butt heads with you anytime you want on this podcast, or if ever you want to include me on any of those shoot interviews. You know, I'd love to be a part of that because I believe in the Hannibal TV. In fact, so much so that when I beat Nathan Banner and become the Canadian television champion, GNW television champion, almost got a little confused there because I am a two-time Canadian champion. I think that I should rename the title from the GNW television title to the Hannibal TV title. What do you think of that one?
Well, the Hannibal TV is known worldwide, so that's not that terrible of an idea, and I'm not just saying that because my name is involved in it. We have viewers of the Hannibal TV, such as Steve Austin, who's plugged us on his podcast. There's many other stars that have reached out to me about the content. So to finish this off, everyone subscribe to this, and Black Dragon, I guarantee you're not making it past the second round at best. I hope you're training hard because I swear to you, I'm going to knock you out.
Thank you for listening to the Great North Wrestling Podcast. Subscribe to this podcast on iTunes and subscribe to the Hannibal TV on YouTube for all the latest GNW news and videos. Follow at Devin Hannibal on Twitter and check out our website at thehannibaltv.com.